Welcome back to Country Catholics.
Good morning.
Let us know if you think these are totally dumb, if you want them to continue. I don't know. We really started this channel kind of as more of a way of our kids can keep, have a historical reference to our life. And anyway, so we're rolling with it. So anyways, this is kind of the last 2 weeks since our last video update of the life, and it has been a crazy 2 weeks, but then again, pretty much it's always busy, isn't it? I hate that word. I don't like saying busy. It's been very full.
Well, we're getting ready for a big construction project at our house at the end of the month, maybe beginning of April. So there's a lot of pieces that go into that we've been working on. And plus, well, we'll get into it. I went on retreat. You went to Omaha. So yeah, good stuff though.
Yeah. Dominic, one of our kiddos in the middle, he's in fifth grade, and he's had a lot of basketball games, back-to-back tournaments. But we're kind of small townville where we don't travel to basketball games really far. We're not like that where we're in, super competitive teams. So our games are like max 30 minutes away. So that's wonderful. We like that. But yeah, well, so what else? We had baby goats, I think, in the last video, so we have now disbudded them. So we had our first experience doing that. We didn't videotape it, so we'll just tell you. We watched it be done many times, and so we're hoping that we have done it right and the goat's horns don't come back real wonky. Basically, baby goats, kids, when they're like 2 weeks, you need to have them disbudded. It's kind of a burning process where you burn their horns so that they really don't get hurt, because we have had a buck that has horns and they will get them stuck in the fence, and they will get they could definitely use them as a weapon against other bucks or other does. And so anyway, so that's why we choose to do that. Some people don't disbud them, and that's fine.
Rocky got to hold the baby goats, and Dad put the hammer down. No, the iron down, and Mom counted. And it was our first time doing it by ourselves. We used a guy named...
We're going to edit that out. We don't want to put somebody's name on the internet.
Okay. We used a friend to help us do this process before. So it was our first time doing it ourselves. And
keep going. I think that's
okay.
my phone.
We used it the first time. This is our first time. I ordered an iron. We did it in our garage. And overall, it went pretty well. Especially considering Rocky, I don't believe it ever been a part of it, so he did a really good job holding the animals, holding the goats while I put it on them, which is not a fun job because they are obviously not enjoying it too much. So but yeah, it all went pretty well. A little smoky, a little stinky, but
we had 3 kid goats.
Yeah.
One was a buck, or 2 are bucks, one was a doe.
Yeah.
So we did it 3 times. They have 2 horns. Let's see what else. Animal wise, we moved our bucks further away from our does. Bucks smell. If you don't know that about bucks, when they're attracted to their girls, they like to pee on themselves, and that's what they do to be attractive. And so
they pee. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's horrendous. This is why deer hunters literally put pee on them when they're hunting. Because it helps them, but yeah, we don't like that, and so we like the bucks to be further from the house as possible until they're needed.
They're a stinky mess.
Yeah, so that was good. Rocco helped with that. We're hoping Daisy should be going into heat soon, but we're not breeding her right now. It's one of our Great Pyrenees, and so we've moved Duke away from her, our sire. I'm trying to think what else on the farm. Oh, the lawnmower.
Yeah.
What'd you and Rocky do?
Me and Rocky, we bought a floor jack for the farm. So we're excited to have that on the farm. But anyways, Rocky got to jack up the lawnmower, and we put new blades on it. And so, and then we also took a wheel off, took it to a machine shop here in town, had it bent to where it functions again. Me and Rocky had to take off one of the guards on the mower in order because the blade was hitting it, had been bent. And so we worked on all these things, and it sounded pretty good. We still need to work on the muffler a little bit, but me and Rocky are pretty proud that we kind of worked through some issues on it, but it's pretty much ready. It mowed Grandpa Shear's lawn yesterday, did a nice job, and obviously
surprisingly,
we're going to be mowing
we're the middle of March in the middle of Missouri, and we've been needing a mower already. We're kind of overdue. Many people already have their yards mowed because it's been a really nice spring. Well, it's not even spring. It's still winter, but it's been really nice. So, so need to get the mower up and running. We also trimmed goats' hooves. So, each, goats have 4 legs and hooves at the bottom of their legs. And, the hooves are kind of fork out like this. I don't know if you can see my fingers. So really there's kind of like 2 on each foot that have to be trimmed, like fingernails would be trimmed. And so it is a chore to do that. And we've got all the does done. We still need to get our bucks done. Ugh, and they stink. So did we say they stink? I think we said that. So I don't really want to do that, but it's probably going to have to be done. I'm not going to get to it today, so maybe a Monday project. Anyways, that's kind of it on the farm. But Kelly wants to tell you about his retreat. So he went to, well, you tell them.
Well, yeah, I went to Gower to the Benedictine nuns of Our Lady of Queen of Apostles in Gower, Missouri. They have a convent there it's on a pretty good acreage, and they actually do some self-sustaining. They have some dairy cattle and chickens, and so anyways, I got fresh eggs and cow milk every day in my fridge. In their and they don't have a lot of lodging for people that want to stay on there. I think it's mainly the convent, and then they have an area for clerical people to stay, but as far as like laity people like myself, there really isn't that big of an area. But it was nice, and they made it available for me. So yeah, I went up there for 2 nights, 3 days, 2 nights, and just walked around their grounds and prayed a lot about my leg, about just kind of my future. It was really cool because in their bookstore they have a picture of the Sacred Heart of Jesus with his arms out, and I recognized that picture from when I went on retreat in 2021. It was the same artist. I knew it was the same artist because it was just very similar how they made Jesus look and how they did his Sacred Heart.
And that retreat center is Broomtree.
And that retreat
in Irene, South Dakota.
In Irene, South Dakota,
it's awesome
yes.
too.
Yeah. So I asked, because previously I'd asked when I was at that retreat in South Dakota, I asked about that painting because it spoke to me when I was on retreat up there. I felt like Jesus actually gave me a few messages through it of just loving me basically and saying to trust him. And actually what he said directly to me was that I have his heart. And anyways, it was consoling to me, especially because I was going through a difficult time in my own life. And the cool thing about it was, so then I go on this retreat in Gower, and they have this similar painting, and I inquired about it. They said the nun, they're so sweet. They always giggle sometimes when you ask them questions because they're full of joy. They'll be like, let me go ask them. And they'll go and they'll go away, and then they'll come back. And she brought me a flyer, and she said that this particular piece won't have an artist's signature on it because it's a group painting from Benedictine monks, and they come from Germany, and which kind of explains why I couldn't find the artist for the other one when I was at Broomtree, because again, it's a group painting. She said there's more of this artwork at the monastery. What's the one in Conception Abbey? That's where they kind of have a lot more of their art.
I think that's in Clive, Missouri.
So she recommended I go see it. But anyways, when I was at this, when I saw this one in Gower, again, Jesus spoke to me and said that he's with me to the end. And again, just consoling words when you're in desolation. Mm-hmm. So anyways, it was good. And I do want to go to Conception and maybe see some of these other art pieces too. But Jesus spoke through me. He speaks a lot to me through art. I don't know how he speaks to you directly, but these pictures, these paintings of the Sacred Heart, it spoke to me so much when I went to Broomtree that we actually purchased two Sacred Heart paintings
found-
for our house that we put up here that Amanda, you might have seen them when Amanda was doing the her Bible.
The Book of Sirach.
you
That's
probably
kind
saw
of
them.
the, and I hope I haven't offended any copyright rules, but that artist, we bought the paintings from Etsy. So it's just somebody who, but anyways, it has Jesus' hand holding out his Sacred Heart. And anyway, but yeah, this retreat where Kelly went, different from Broomtree. This one is where you really have to email them, just even see if they have a spot. And it's very, they do not do speakers. They don't have all that stuff. Even really confession wasn't necessarily offered. Maybe you could have asked, but spiritual direction probably wasn't. This really is just for a silent retreat. You have to bring your own food except for the eggs and milk, and it's in a very rural area, so you're not going to be around stuff to run anywhere and get stuff. But and all the grounds are not available. The sisters have an area that's off limits. But the big thing too we haven't mentioned is Sister Wilhelmina. You probably heard about her. She's possibly the future incorruptible, because her body was found in 2023, and it was not, her body had not decomposed after 4 years of being buried. And so obviously that is a miracle, whether anyone wants to attribute it to her or God working through her or what. But it is miraculous that someone's body has not decomposed after 4 years. So anyways, we were there and we saw her body before it was put in behind the glass into their altar. Anyways, you can find way more about her later, but that is the same place that Kelly went to. And
on a side note, when we went and saw Sister Wilhelmina, because you could actually see her before they englassed her in glass, we went and saw her, and we ran into Harrison Butker, the Chiefs field goal kicker, in line. I thought that was probably the funnest. One of our like really happy events last year was when we ran into Harrison Butker, and he was super nice, took pictures, talked to our kids. But anyways, and he's a Catholic, and obviously has even just done some. He's just community minded and definitely an inspiration. And it was pretty. And he's a Catholic, and obviously has even just done some. He's just community minded and definitely an inspiration. And it was pretty neat that we ran into him, and he has a relationship with those sisters as well. So
I thought it was cool. The one thing he really wanted to know is he wanted to know each one of our kids' names. When you meet people and they can be nice, but for you to say, I want to know your name, I think is really, it's really powerful. So that was cool. But we also ran into a ton of our wonderful families from Omaha. I bet there was at least 5 or 6 families we saw that same day. And I know people were visiting that whole Memorial Day weekend before she was then englassed. So anyways, that was awesome. Gracie and I did take an Omaha trip. There were some Shakespeare plays that we went to, and that was so fun and so awesome to see some amazing families. I was like boo-hooey crying because just when you're in the presence of wonderful people and wonderful families, it's just a blessing to see that. And we know as Christians and as Catholics, it's hard to live in this world, and it's hard to continue to shine your light when the enemy is prowling around seeking the ruin of your soul. And so it's obviously easier when you stand united. It's easier when we stand with a group of people, and it's just easier. So I miss all those families because they made it easier for me to be a light. And anyway, so it was just a blessing to see see some new babies that had been born, and to see kids getting taller. And then we knew I'd say probably half of the kids in the Friday night and Saturday night performances. So that was just a blessing. Gracie and I also did a homeschool painting day with a group that we have here in Missouri. So that was nice. We painted little spring birds, and actually you might be able to see them back there. Our 2 paintings are just sitting there. Let's see, what else did we do? Oh, the big house project. Again, this is just 2 weeks, people. This is how insane our life is. Homeschooling all the time and everything else. We had the hardwood floors redone in our kids' bedroom. So back here down this hallway, it's like your typical ranch 3 bedrooms. Well, all of them had hardwood floors when we moved in, and they're in decent condition. So we finally have then got them sanded down and then restained early American. That's the color I love. And then and sealed and poly, coated. So that of course takes removing all of your furniture, all of their bedding, all of their clothing out, which we currently had 4 children in those 2 rooms. So actually 5. We had 5 kids in there. Gracie and Joanna shared a room, and then the twins and Dominic were sharing a room. So all of that got removed, all of that got taken out, and then the floors got finished, and we have now moved. All of Joanna's is back in, and that's kind of wrapping up. And the boys' room, somebody's coming to help us build bunk beds for the boys, like loft beds, on Monday in a couple days. So once they do that, the boys will have their beds, and then the closets will be finished. Their clothes can be officially in. But yeah, so we've had beds literally back here by our dining room table, over here in the living room. Beds are everywhere, clothes are everywhere. It's we're always just living in a mess, but we're getting closer. So anyway, so those 2 rooms will be really close to being done. Now we have somebody coming that's putting baseboards on, and like I said, finishing the closets. One of the closets had old HVAC in it that we put in all new heating and air, so we don't need those anymore. So anyways, we took that out, which gained about 18 inches in one of the closets for width, which was amazing. So yeah, so that's great. And you doing okay, Kelly?
Yep.
I think we're about done. I know Dominic had an orthodontist appointment out of town. That's only $6,000, so yay! Anyway, so we'll see what comes of that. What else do we have? I think that's about it.
Yeah.
So we put in 1 new door and 1 new bedroom, because that's all I had purchased when the guy came to do the work. We had some ductwork moved in the basement. Been doing a ton of painting. Me and Kelly's mom have been painting all of the baseboards and the new doors to the closets. We're gonna bifold doors in there instead. So I think that's it. Oh, my sister came and visited for a couple nights. We celebrated my dad's birthday. I think that's it. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Again, let us know if this is something you like, or if you think this is dumb or whatever. But we do have some big announcements. We have a discount code with a Catholic company, and I'm hoping to get that video done soon. But you're gonna get, I believe it's 20% off from their store. And anyways, I cannot wait to put that out, and I'm hoping to get it done before Easter so you guys can post. But feel free to nag me about it, and those that know me, text me and email me and say, where's your discount code? But I'm trying to get that done. So anyways, God bless you. And if we do this again in 2 weeks, we're going to have some major house changes. So we have a really, really big project coming up. But otherwise, yeah, that's it. Signing off. God bless you. Subscribe.